Ingrid Betancourt dreams of an international conference organised by the European Union to deal with the issue of Colombian hostages. Recently freed from the jungle herself, the Franco-Colombian wants Latin America to make a real effort to solve the problem. This winner of Spain's Prince of Asturias Prize for Concorde has talked to Euronews. Ingrid Betancourt, what has to be relinquished to achieve a state of concord, harmony? You said recently that in political life there were too many confrontations, that you did not want to go back there. Is that a renunciation, a way of giving in to achieve harmony?
No, I think that it's simply a personal decision, an unease with certain ways in which things are done. But I haven't given up politics with a capital P. I've given up a certain way of being involved in politics that I don't like. Your question's interesting. You're asking me what has to be relinquished to attain harmony. To attain it, you have to give up ego. I think that ego has a lot of nuances. There's the individual ego, but also the ego of nations. I think insofar as we're able to put to one side this feeling of always saving face, that we can never make a mistake, of always wanting to be superior. If we can manage to be more humble, I think we will achieve harmony.
Recently, you were at the European Parliament. You are now a symbol, an ambassador for freedom. You moved MEPs. We saw pictures of members of the chamber in tears. What did you say to them to move them so much? And what undertaking were you able to get from the European Parliament that will help you in securing the hostages' freedom?
I think it was a dialogue in which my emotion was passed on because they were crying, but I was already in tears. Somehow, when you try to say things that are difficult to say, people connect with the emotion that you're feeling. I think that that's what happened at the Parliament. It was very beautiful. But more than an undertaking from them, I think what I've managed to get is a reflection on the importance of Latin America, the need to salvage places of peace in Latin America, that Colombia's problem is a problem for the whole world and not only for Colombia. I would like to believe that when the time comes, under the auspices of the European Union, we're going to have an international conference on the Colombia problem, the hostages freedom. When we talk about this subject, we're inevitably talking about peace. The two problems are linked. I think that if the representatives of Latin America unite to reflect precisely in a spirit of concord, leaving to one side their troubles, their egos, if we could look at Colombia's problems unselfishly, I believe there are solutions.
After more than 6 years of involuntary absence as a hostage in the jungle, what were your first impressions on seeing Latin America again? Did you notice any changes?
I think that the continent has taken a turn to the left. Not so much politically, but above all, because the continent's priority is now the human factor. That's to say, the need to resolve social problems. Most democratically elected representatives in Latin America today are elected under that banner, to solve the problems of the poor, the person who's suffering, who's hungry, who's unemployed.
I was impressed by something you said. I think that the devil lives in the jungle. It's shattering to think that absolute evil can exist.
Es estremecedor pensar que pueda existir ese mal absoluto.
Yo diría que el diablo
puede estar en cualquier lado.
I'll say
No
that the
tanto como
devil
un
can
mal
be anywhere, not as evil in a
genérico,
generic
partícula
sense
de, o
or in
esencia
essence.
de. Yo creo
I
que hay
think
una
that there's a
personificación
personification of evil, of the
del mal,
devil,
del diablo,
of the antithesis of
de
God,
aquello que es
with a lot of
anti-Dios.
faces. Pride, malicious gossip,
Con muchas facetas, la soberbia,
malevolence, twisting words to create
maledicencia,
errors of
malcreencia.
communication,
el transformar las palabras y decirlas de otra manera para crear errores de comunicación. En la selva, el diablo
in the jungle, the
lo
devil
que
is the
sucede
only
es que
thing that exists.
es como lo único que hay. En el mundo hay
In the rest of the world, there are other forces.
En la selva,
But in the
en
jungle,
el contexto,
in the
digamos,
context of a
de la vida de
hostage's
un
life,
secuestrado, la presencia,
the only presence
digamos,
is
de
of this
ese
antithesis of
antidios,
God,
de esa negación de la
this negation of
espiritualidad, de
spirituality,
volver al hombre una pequeña
reducing
cosita,
a human being to an insignificant nothing, a piece of rubbish,
una basura,
a being clinging to their
ser
meanness,
de
their
apegado a sus
selfishness, their little
mezquindades, a sus
cruelties,
egoísmos,
their
a
little
su-
need to
a su
humiliate
pequeña
others, their
crueldad, a su
pettiness.
pequeña
All
necesidad
that
de
is in the
humillar al otro,
jungle.
a sus pequeñeces. Eso está en la selva.
Entonces, durante esos años en los que usted
During the
estuvo
years when you were
secuestrado,
held hostage,
¿entendió
did you
algo de lo
understand
que-
what the
de lo que
FARC
son las
were,
FARC, de
their
lo que
claims,
pretenden,
their
lo que
mission,
buscan,
or
o
was it all
es
just madness?
locura ya?
Yo tengo mucha claridad de lo que son
I
las
can see
FARC.
very well what the
Muchísimo.
FARC are,
Porque
very
conviví
much, because I was in the bowels of this
estuve en
monster
las
for nearly
entrañas de
7
ese
years.
monstruo durante casi 7 años. Sé perfectamente qué son
I
las
know
FARC.
perfectly well what
Hay
the
cosas
FARC
buenas en
are.
las FARC. No todo es malo. Pero creo que el proyecto FARC,
There are good things
Es
in
un
the FARC,
proyecto
it's not all bad, but the FARC's vision is
cuando yo
misguided.
estaba libre y antes
When I
del
was
secuestro,
free, before being
tenía la
detained,
opinión de que las
I
FARC
believed that the
podían
FARC
ser
could, as it were, be an
una
option for
de pronto
Colombia.
para Colombia. Pensaba que era,
I thought that it was a
una
response to a
respuesta
negative
a una
culture in
cultura
Colombia,
negativa en Colombia, una cultura
the
que,
culture of corruption,
digamos, de la corrupción,
a lack of
de
social
la
awareness,
falta de
and consequently the
sensibilidad social, y por lo
culture of the
tanto, esa
pride
especie
of the
como de
powerful, who don't
soberbia
hesitate
del que
to
tiene
trample
poder,
on
que
anyone to get what they
no le importa
want.
pisar a cualquiera para llegar a su propio fin.
I thought that the FARC had ideas
Yo
which would
pensaba que las
enable
FARC
an
de pronto
alternative to be
tenían
put
ideales
forward,
que permitían presentar una alternativa a un modelo
a model for
de construcción
society
de
which I
sociedad
think
que yo
should
creo
be
que Colombia hay que
reformed in
reformar.
Colombia.
Lo que constato después de 7 años
What I notice after 7 years of sharing my life with the FARC,
digamos, de matrimonio
you could say in a forced marriage,
es que las FARC
is that
no
the
son
FARC
una
are not an
alternativa
alternative to a
una
problematic
sociedad
society,
con problemas, sino
but a
son
byproduct with the
subproducto de esa
same
sociedad,
vices, the
con
same
los mismos
behavior,
vicios, exactamente los mismos vicios,
but in addition with a
los
certain
mismos
fanaticism,
comportamientos,
a certain
pero
belief that they are the
adicionalmente con
only
cierto
ones who
fanatismo,
can offer a
pero
solution
con
for
una
Colombia.
consideración de que son
And to me, all
mesiánicos,
that
es decir, los
seems
únicos que
highly
pueden dar una
dangerous.
solución a Colombia. Y todo eso me parece altamente peligroso. Yo creo que las FARC han
I
vivido
think that the FARC have
precisamente en la selva,
lived precisely in the
cerradas al
jungle,
mundo,
shut off from the
oyéndose a sí
world,
mismas,
only
perdieron
listening to
contacto con el
themselves,
mundo,
and
y al
they've
perder el
lost
contacto con el
contact with the
mundo, no
world.
se dan cuenta de que el mundo cambió,
They haven't realized
de
that
que
the world
Colombia
has
no es la misma,
changed, that
de que hay
Colombia is
cosas
no longer the
positivas en
same,
Colombia,
that there are
y
positive
de que
things in
ellos, al
Colombia,
contrario,
and that
en
they,
vez
on
de
the
haberse
contrary, instead of
transformado en algo
transforming
mejor,
into something
se
better,
transformaron en
they've
la
transformed into a
caricatura
bad
mala
caricature of
de lo
what we
que
don't want in
no queremos
Colombia.
en
They
Colombia.
should think
Entonces,
about that, and I
esa
hope
reflexión la
they're
tienen que
going to
hacer, y
rectify
espero
it.
que haya rectificación.
¿Ha conseguido usted después de
After resting and
descansar,
getting
de
your freedom
recuperar
back,
la
have you
libertad,
managed to start your life over again,
establecer
to
su
make
vida
plans?
cotidiana como una persona normal, con sus proyectos?
Hay veces que es difícil.
Sometimes it's
Hay veces
difficult,
que es difícil, pero lo estoy tratando.
I'm trying,
y tengo una inmensa
and I feel an
felicidad que me
immense
habita.
inner
Por
joy.
lo tanto, aún en
So
las
despite the
dificultades que se pueden
difficulties that I
presentar en
may
lo diario,
find day to day,
con
with
algo
a
de
little bit of a
sentido del humor
sense of
puede uno
humour, I can
seguir adelante.
continue to go forward.
Muchas gracias y enhorabuena por el premio.
Mil gracias.